Hello, I'm here to show you a concrete database that will work with InEightEstimate. Here is how InEight starts out. There is no information. You need to build all the information that you wish to use. We have all that information built for you, so you can start right away using InEightEstimate upon purchase. We go to the cost item assemblies. Here is a list of all of the assemblies in condensed mode. Every one of these lines opens up to multiple assemblies. There are concrete general conditions issues, project personnel, mobilization, testing issues, documentation, safety, cleanup, equipment issues, pumps, cranes, small tools, footings and pile caps, duct banks, strip footings, continuous footings, isolated footings for piers, for columns, isolated footings, pile caps, rectangle, round, octagon, or irregular shaped, or anchor bolt templates. I'm just reading these descriptions right here of the assemblies. Columns and piers, round or rectangle, or with sonotube. Again, anchor bolt templates. Slab on grade issues. Slab on grades by length by width, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches in depth, and you could add any other depths that you would like to add, or take it off by any depth where you input the depth of the concrete. There is slab on grade taken by length by width and also by area square feet. The area square feet is useful with digital takeoff, where you go dit, 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 dit. With the digital takeoff, you know the square footage, and you would use these assemblies for that purpose. Circular slabs by diameter or by area square foot. Topping slabs, turn down edges, thickened edges, plate dowels, slab insulation, box outs, and other assemblies. Elevated slabs and beams. Slab on metal deck, again, length by width or area square foot. Structural slabs, length by width or area square foot. Shoring assemblies, expansion joints. Walls, grade beams, starter walls, concrete walls. Walls formed one side, battered wall formed one side, battered wall for two sides. Circular walls by length, circular walls by diameter, pilasters at walls, wall haunch or corbel, concrete wall drops, window drops, box outs, expansion joints, anchor bolt assemblies. Equipment pads, interior and exterior, by length by width or area square foot. Rebar and dowels, length by width, length and crossbar, dowels of various sorts. Now, how is all of this used? We would go to the cost breakdown structure, and it is here that you do your takeoff. You would right-click on the job and tell the system you would like to do some cost item assemblies as subordinates to insert them. And that list of assemblies comes into play. Now you go into here and you would pick the assembly that you would like to see and use. So I'm going to take off a footing. I click on the assembly and the elements of the footing assembly come into play here. These are the items of the activity. Here is the takeoff. These are the values of the last takeoff, which I will modify for this takeoff. You can come into here and say, we have a footing length of 125 feet. The footing width is 3 foot wide. Our footing depth in inches is 14 inches. Is the footing formed? You see those 3 little dots right there? Those dots means there is a table in the background where you can put in, I would like no form. In other words, you will have neat excavation and you form up to the excavation edges, or it is formed on one side or formed on 2 sides. The default is 2. You can type in either of these numbers if you would like to change this. What is the concrete PSI? Once again, you can go out to the list here of all of the strengths of the concrete, or you can just come to here and type in the strength of the concrete you would like to have. Concrete waste percent. The waste of the concrete is separate from the neat value of the concrete. Therefore, when the assembly is done, you will get a cubic yards of neat concrete and a cubic yards of the waste concrete. It is preset to 5, which you can change as you'd like on any different footing assembly. Place the concrete how? Placement is always by one of these 4 things: truck, pump, crane, or buggy. You can change it to whatever you would like to have on a job-by-job basis. Concrete admixtures. Again, there is a list out there of the different admixtures that you can apply to this assembly. There are 2 admixtures you can take off. Keyway type. Now I know the keyway has choices of 2x4 or 2x6. If I type 2x4, it will give me a 2x4 keyway. Water stop type. Another list of options for water stop. So if I put in a 4 right here, I will get a 4-inch water stop. Foundation insulation. I can input the type of insulation, meaning the thickness, and then it will give me questions for the depth of the insulation. If you do not want any, leave it at 0. Is there curing? Yes or no. By the way, you can change these defaults if you would like to leave curing for this assembly on all the time. These values here are calculated on these inputs up here. There is descriptions of all of this, notes for all of this that you have. When you click OK, this information here has been brought in to your estimate. And you can go out and find another assembly that you would like to take off and continue your work. So we'll go get a slab on grade, and in this case I'll get a 6-inch slab on grade. The questions will be slightly different. The questions now are about slab on grade issues instead of footing issues. So what is my length and my width of the slab on grade? I'll say we have something that's 75 foot by 45 for whatever reason. What is my edge form? Now this edge form could be calculated off these 2 values, but you could be pouring up against other objects or whatever. So it is an input value that you can put in however you like. Is there a construction joint lineal footage? Yes, we can bring in the lineal footage of the construction joint that you would like to have. What is my concrete PSI? Again, we can just type in the value that you would like to have for the PSI. The concrete waste. Notice that it's a different waste percentage. These defaults can be set assembly by assembly the way you would like to see them. Admixtures again. There's another question here for additive fibers if you would like to have them. Again, there's a list out there of the different types of fibers that you can have. Slab finish options, curing types. Now one is pre-fill for that. And sealing, yes or no. If I say yes, I will get sealant in there. And then there's questions for vapor barrier, saw cuts, under slab insulation, expansion joints, wire mesh, budget rebar, and detailed rebar. Budget rebar means, yes, I would like to take off the rebar, and I would like to input a pounds of rebar per cubic yard. Detailed rebar means I would like to input all of the detail about the rebar that I would like to see, the bar size, the length of bar, the on-center spacing, the chair spacing, percentage for bends and adds and things like that. You can turn this on or off. Now, if you would like changes in the way that these assemblies work, we can work with you and make these changes specific to your use of the software. For example, if you wish to always take off rebar on a pounds per cubic yard basis and not do the detail rebar takeoff, we could have this disappear for you and pre-fill this into values you would like to have on an assembly by assembly basis. I mention that option because that's one thing we have done for one company. That is the way that they handled concrete rebar. Now again, I click OK, and at these input values up here, it brings about these quantities here for all of these line items. And I click OK, and that takeoff is also complete. And thus, we are building our estimate. So this has been a quick review of the concrete assembly database. I hope this captures your attention. There is contact information that you can see of how to contact us if you would like a more in-depth demo or like to know more information about this product. Please contact us and we will be glad to talk with you. Thank you very much for your time.